Hey y'all, it's your girl Stephanie, and this is Wrestling in Color podcast. I'm in the kitchen doing some stuff. Had to take a mental health break today, so that's what we're going to call that today. Today is Monday. So anyway, while I'm talking to you, and I hope this stuff that I'm doing in the background don't overpower what I'm talking about, I just wanted to ask y'all a couple questions. You know, get the conversation started, kind of have a visceral moment with you guys, and I'm saying visceral, not viscera. Rest in peace. This is the first question. If WWE was to sell their rights to their pay-per-view catalog that is now exclusively on the WWE network to like Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, I don't know, to whatever streaming service is interested. I saw Amazon, I saw a lot of what if, would you be willing to pay more for pay-per-views? If WWE Network, they claiming they're going to change some things and put some tiers on their network, would you be willing to pay more for pay-per-views? Right now it's a flat $10 and you got access to a pretty big catalog, including original content. Like yesterday I was watching season 3 of Total Divas, and sometimes I go back and watch old episodes because the first older episodes were actually pretty good. And it's like when you watch something again and it's been a long time, you can pick up some gems. Like Natty and what's her name, Summer Rain's fighting, and Summer Rain slapped Natty so hard she broke her nose in one episode, and Lana kissing girls and like completely dismissing Rusev, and the chemistry of what's her name, Naomi and her husband Jimmy, and why the fuck they don't have their own show is beyond me, because that's a gold mine right there. That's a gold mine. If they really are so in sync like they are on Total Divas, then I love it. I would love to watch them. Just like Ms. and Mrs. Why not have the Uso glow or some shit? I don't know. Anyway, so that was my first thought question was, would you pay more for pay-per-views and access to WWE content if it's not on the WWE network? Which is bizarre to me because I would think WWE would want their stuff to be exclusive to them, but this man is trying to make a whole lot of money, and I see a lot of you guys don't understand how the stock market works and things of that nature. All you see is dollar signs, and you're not understanding the turn off of the community and how that translates into losing money as well. But I guess we'll get to that eventually one day. So anyway, this is my other question. I hope you enjoyed my last video about Booker T and his shenanigans and his go along to get along ideal and what some people would perceive as a yes man, as a shrill, or however you pronounce it. I was looking online and I see Tessa Blanchard is going to be talking to Chris Van Fleet. He got a YouTube where he's talking to all the big names and stuff like that. So, and he works for AEW, so he's going to be talking to Tessa Blanchard. And with what has gone on with Tessa Blanchard and her spitting fiasco, I've listened to a couple in the YouTube community who seem to think that you can separate the art from the artist. So my question to you, can you separate the art from the artist? Now let's think. We got Hulk Hogan, bigger than life, put WWE on the map essentially. Fast forward 20, 30 years, we realize Hulk is a flaming, disgusting man who cheated on his wife, and in the midst of that, we find out he's a stone cold racist. They said he was, because his daughter was having sex with black men. That's what she preferred at the time. I was not able to get over that. I don't tolerate racism in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I think it's unfair to black audiences to expect them to somehow separate hate that we endure in order for everyone else to enjoy it. You can enjoy it, but I'm going to look at you differently when you say stuff like, oh, well, he helped the business, so you should get over it. Or, oh, he did this, this, and this, and you should just get over it. I look at you sideways. I look at you sideways. A lot of, like, what Booker T does is, he's just like, well, you know, he might have said that to me, but, you know, I just brushed it off because at the time I had just got out of jail. And, you know, it's a lot of excuses. It is no excuse for racism. I guess that's what I'm saying. So when I see Tessa Blanchard going to be talking, I don't know what she's possibly going to be talking about because I don't care about her. I think it's great or whatever that she is walking around with a heavyweight championship and beating up the guys in her promotion, which I will agree with Booker T, looks absolutely, you know, unrealistic to the point where it's kind of fucking up the credibility of the guys on that roster, because if you trying to fight other men and you letting a woman, you know, spine buster and pile drive you with ease, it's a bit much for some fans to take seriously. I'll say that. I hate cracking eggs. For some reason, I'm not as smooth of an egg cracker that I would hope fashion myself to be. Let's see if I can transfer these eggs without those little bits of... yes, okay. Excuse me, folks. All right. Okay, so we think about how we try to enjoy wrestling as black people, Latino people, because Latinos right now are super hot and they're getting a lot of shine on television, and that's another demographic that's being courted as of late, and that's fine. Not new, but they want y'all to come back, and it's the same way in politics. If the black folks don't want to do it, where the Latinos at? They gonna do it, So, my question was, can you separate the artist from the artistry? My answer is no. I cannot. I cannot look at Hulk Hogan. I cannot look at, Tessa Blanchard. I can't look at Randy Orton and not know that he dug down his pants and had people shaking his hands after he gripped his sweaty dick. He did use the N-word on some type of online video game podcast he was having. You all rushed. This is what is a turn off. You all rushed to his defense, not thinking about how somebody else was going to feel about that. It's no way for you to say, oh, he was drunk and using it. You just, no. I don't get drunk and use the C word and honky and all that. I don't understand why it's just a pass for that particular word, which is nigger. I don't understand. Nigger, however you want to say it. I don't understand it. I'm not gonna understand it. I barely use the word like that. And when I do use the word, it's gonna be in context. It's nothing sexy or hot about it. Macho Man, I grew up enjoying Macho Man, snapping to a Slim Jim, but in his later life, he was absolutely inflammable, and I was just like, wow, that's how you feel, bro? We didn't do it to you, but he didn't have no problem throwing us under the bus, you know what I mean? Mae Young, or is it the Fabulous Mooner? One of them bitches was out there, making them women go on the whole stroll and beating the women and taking their money. They didn't separate her from her art. They took her damn name off the damn tournament, Moolah. It was the Fabulous Moolah. Now it's just the Mae Young Classic. It's a lot of things. Y'all not I have to bring up Chris Benoit. Stone Cold clears his whole family. Y'all can say CTE. Y'all can say all kinds of things. But no one's excusing Chris Benoit like, oh, well, he was in a different time and a different place in his life. Let's go ahead and celebrate what he did for the business. Yeah, I'm comparing murder to racism because racism can lead to murder and has. Okay? Vince McMahon said the N-word on TV. But at that particular time, the Twitter and the internet wasn't like all that popping, so we couldn't really say what we wanted to say. But don't think people didn't notice that, because my dad was not a wrestling fan. He knew how racist wrestling was. My grandma was, and we watched as a kid. But my pops, no. He used to always say, "Turn them racist motherfuckers off." That's all he used to say. But we watched it anyway. Because we want to enjoy the sport too. And when we get in the sport as black people, we dominate. So I could go on and on and on about different instances where our favorites disappointed us. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like a fan of Drew McIntyre. And I've been a fan of Drew McIntyre for a minute. And yes, he does look just as good like that, ladies, in real life. I saw him live and I was like, oh wow. Whoever his wife is, girl, he is a magnificent man. Hair does a lot, because with Drew McIntyre without hair, it's just ridiculous. It's like night and fucking day. So fellas, grow body hair. We like it. Anyway, nice body hair. Don't be like hairy and nasty. So it would hurt to know that I'm over here vouching for Drew McIntyre and come to find out he's somewhere about Eagles and just like going in on black people. That is the most disappointing thing as a black wrestling fan, to sit and just be loving, watching Stone Cold and realizing he may have been in the back calling people the N-word and then went home and beat his wife up. Because Stone Cold, has children, and he's estranged from them all. It's bizarre that we love Stone Cold, but he's estranged from his children, and he beat up his woman, and probably was a raging racist. Who knows? So I guess I could end it here. This wasn't a long one. I was cooking and it just came on my mind. Like, I can't separate the artist from the artistry, just like R. Kelly. Can you sit down and really listen to Half on a Baby knowing he was singing about 13-year-olds? Bill Cosby, I grew up watching picture pages, open up your picture page, it's time to get your crayons and your pencils. Now, I'm aging myself. That was like 80s. To know that I watched Bill Cosby picture pages and enjoy the Cosby Show and know that he was like all pro-black in that at certain points in his career, and then he goes and makes these weird speeches about, black people pulling up their pants, and then come to find out he out here raping white women and sprinkled in some black women in the process. It's like, I can't, how am I supposed to digest that? So, I don't know how to take Tessa. I can't. She could sit there and she could talk about her accomplishments and what she knows and all the great things that she's doing, but you spit on someone and call them a nigga. Like, even if the bitch that you spit on was like, oh, I forgive her, I don't know about that. I don't think I can sit there and listen to Great American and Hulk Hogan is a full-on racist and didn't really apologize. He apologized because he got caught. He more or less said, well, I'm sorry, I offended y'all. Y'all shouldn't have heard that shit no way, because it was a secret. Someone secretly recorded me. But you were old adulterer. Chris Benoit killed his whole family. But we told his son didn't have nothing to do with it. And his son wants to wrestle. But he looks like his father's bookend. And how is that going to go over? He should be given the opportunity to function. It's not his fault his pops did something so egregious. You know what I mean? Look at Vince McMahon. We know Vince McMahon has some serious character flaws. We know Vince McMahon is weird. He was going to put his kids in an incest angle. We know Vince McMahon done said the N-word and don't have a problem with it. And he is a Trump supporter. And his wife was on the Small Business Administration head. We know all of this, but we still tune in to the product because some people, we all work for racists. It's for black. It's no way of getting around it. I get up and I probably work for a racist. I don't fucking know. He know not to say shit to me racist in my face, but he probably go home and have the little kitchen table talks and be cutting loose. It ain't far-fetched. That's just like life. Like, then you find out, like, really, that's you was in my face and you was smiling and you was hugging your fellow wrestler, and in real life you was just like, ugh, I wish this N-word would get away from me. Like, ugh. That's just so bizarre to me. I don't know. This is a quick one. So let me know. I want y'all to hit me in the comments. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming over and listening and trying something different than the usual and having this conversation with me. And you tell me in the comments, how do you feel about can you separate the art from the artist and move forward knowing these people have done some things that are questionable? Like, can you do it? If you made it this far in this podcast, this topic, please put down road to 300. I'm getting to 200, but we just gonna go ahead and say we gonna work our way to 300, y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you. Your girl Stephanie, and this is Wrestling Color Podcast. Talk to you on the next video. Bye.